Cowboys 43 meters by David Moore, staff writer at David Moore.com. And the Cowboys find themselves at a financial crossroads. On some level, every team can make this claim. Given the staggering commitment required to keep a quality group together, the consequences of injury or personnel miscalculation in this punishing sport can strap a franchise's competitive ability for years. But this is where the conversation shifts for Dallas. Owner Jerry Jones and the front office have made the determination that the key athletes on this team form a Super Bowl nucleus. They will be paid accordingly even though this group has yet to advance past the divisional round in its 3 years together. Dak Prescott, DeMarcus Lawrence and others will be paid, in part, on where they could lead the Cowboys. It's a high-stakes projection that requires a leap of faith. A correct assessment will reap dividends, regardless of how much the club distributes in the coming weeks and months. If club officials are wrong, well, the 24-year Super Bowl drought will continue with no end in sight and less financial freedom to adjust. The beauty of one of the NFL's youngest rosters, one that has won 2 division titles in 3 years, is that it generates hope for the future. The harsh reality is the price of that future extends beyond the accomplishments of the present. Prescott, Lawrence, Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, Byron Jones. If internal discussions have determined the time is now for these Cowboys, throw in elite free agent safety Earl Thomas into the mix. Now, prioritize this list. Devise a pecking order based on importance of position and when existing contracts expire. Is there anyone on this list Dallas can do without? I'm not going to give you my list, but I'm going to let you make yours and I bet we don't miss it far, Jones told reporters at the scouting combine in Indianapolis last week. Fill our names in on the position list and we're right there. I probably would go right down the list with you as to the ones you think we could least do without. My list: Lawrence, Prescott and Cooper. Delay Cooper temporarily if the team can land Thomas. Elliott and Jones follow. DeMarcus Lawrence. Tom Fox, staff photographer. Dallas Cowboys defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, 90, flashes a big smile after he helped break up a Jacksonville Jaguars pass attempt during the first half edit. Tom Fox, The Dallas Morning News. The franchise tag is in place. A narrative has begun to build that this is somehow a sign of disrespect, that the club should have had this done by now given the defensive end's importance to the team. Would the Cowboys be better positioned if this impasse was already resolved? No question, but there's a difference in taking a disciplined approach or responsible stance in disrespect. This contract will exceed $100 million. The guarantee will be north of $60 million, maybe well north. That has implications for what follows. This contract should take time. Casually throw in extra $2 or $3 million into the negotiations now and that's money no longer available for the elite players or next wave of quality players who find themselves next in line. Give Lawrence more money than it requires to strike a deal and who do you lose down the road? No contract for Lawrence isn't an issue at the moment. The club can't allow this to extend to the July 15th deadline before reaching an agreement. It can't follow the same dysfunctional pattern that unfolded with Dez Bryant 4 years ago when a deal was struck on the eve of training camp. Much is at stake. This needs to be resolved by or shortly after the draft when organized team activities begin. Dak Prescott, the quarterback, has been vastly underpaid based on performance and production for 3 years. Management and coaches are convinced he's the team's quarterback of the future. He will be paid. His contract will also exceed $100 million. The 5 highest-paid quarterbacks currently average between $27 and $33.5 million. Jones is aware of the price tag and doesn't flinch. You have high-paid people all over the lot, Jones said. Entertainers, when they really start getting paid, they start hiring their own buses and vans and start hiring their own organization. They pay all of those expenses. It would be the equivalent to a quarterback paying the rest of the offense out of his share. It's not uncommon for people or positions or your particular contribution to have a lot of money involved. So no, I understand it. Can the Cowboys push Prescott's contract back? They could, but what message does that send? Would pushing it back lower the price? No. Earl Thomas, the Pro Bowl safety, wants to play here. The Cowboys want him and were willing to give up a second-round pick last season to acquire him. Dallas has just under $23 million in cap room available at the moment. The club will have a little more once linebacker Sean Lee signs the restructured deal the two sides are negotiating. Thomas wants a big deal. But what if that deal comes from a team that doesn't excite him? What if he doesn't land somewhere else in the first 48 hours of free agency? The Cowboys remain in play here up until Thomas signs elsewhere. He's very much on their radar. Amari Cooper. Tom Fox, staff photographer. Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Amari Cooper, 19, pulls in a long touchdown pass in the end zone after beating Philadelphia Eagles cornerback Sidney Jones, 22, during the fourth quarter at it. The Cowboys won, 29-23. Tom Fox, the Dallas Morning News. The club didn't give up a first-round pick to add a receiver they don't intend to sign. It's on the cap for $13.9 million in 2019. The team can lower that hit with a long-term deal. Ezekiel Elliott has 1 year left on his rookie deal with a club option for a fifth season. This is why he's not an immediate priority. But once the club takes care of business over the next few months, he's priority one. Byron Jones is in the final year of a rookie contract that will pay him $6.266 million. He's part of the future. The club just has too many talented players on the runway ahead of him at the moment. Twitter, @DavidMooreDMN.